Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at some Threadripper stuff. Threadripper is just a beast of a processor, and I saw some interesting information today, as a matter of fact, that related to Threadripper and cryptocurrency mining. So I'm going to take a look at kind of what's involved in a Threadripper build, and then we're going to talk a little bit about kind of where pricing is currently, and then what may happen with it. So we're here in PC Part Picker, and I went through and basically built a Threadripper system here that it's got really good stuff in it, and would be the way that I would want to build this system. So we're going to spend a few minutes and go through this and look at piece by piece kind of what I've got in here. And as you'll see, I do not have a video card chosen for this as of yet. The pricing for GPUs is just completely out of whack. I was looking at some 1080s earlier, and they're over $1,000. That's just nuts. So hopefully that's going to come down, and I'm going to share some information here with you that I saw earlier today that may be a benefit. So to me, I already have a Ryzen 7 PC with an 8-core. To me, if I could do a Threadripper build, I would go straight for a 1950X, 16-core, 32-thread. In my opinion, that's the direction that I would go. Now, pricing on these currently are running at $899, just right under $900. But talk about a workhorse of a machine. Really, you could just crank through, just workloads on this machine right here. Now, this obviously would not be something that you would want to build if you're just, some type of a gamer. This is not the direction to go. But if you're someone similar to myself and you do a lot of video editing, production, or you're doing a lot of content creation, those kind of things, pushing streaming and recording at the same time, this right here would just be a monster. And like I said, I would love to get my hands on one of these and build one of these systems, because I could definitely put it to use. Now, I saw some information today specifically about these 1950Xs. Now, because this processor has got so many cores and so many threads to it, people have actually figured out a way to take one of these units and do mining with it. Apparently there's an algorithm out there that works on this, and so there was a lot of talk I saw on a lot of you guys probably know Awesome Hardware, where Paul and Kyle, they do that every Tuesday. Well, I had saw it this morning, went back and watched it this morning, and there was a lot of talk about this, and they shared an article that was on Awesome Hardware, and I would encourage you to go over there and watch that, that talked about there's a lot of interest around this particular unit right here in order to do mining with it. Now, that leads to two things. Number one, if that's the case and people start grabbing these up, you know what that's going to do? Same thing it did to the GPUs. It's going to shove this price through the roof. And I don't see any way that could be controlled otherwise, because retailers sure haven't controlled what's going on with GPUs, and those are just outrageous right now. You can get a hold of your lower end cards, 1050 down, but anything from I've seen a few 1060s start to loosen up a little bit. I found a Asus card. I was actually putting together a Ryzen 5 build, a white build, and I'll do a separate video on that one. But that card there was $399. That's still a lot for a 1060, but it is, there are starting to be some available. So for a while you couldn't even find 1060s either. So, but in this unit I've got a Threadripper 1950. So I think what'll happen is, if people start going to these, they'll start buying these up, but then that means that hopefully video GPU stuff will start going down. So I don't know what's going to happen with these, but if you have any interest in going with one of these, if you can afford it, I would encourage you probably to look pretty seriously about go ahead and getting your hands on this unit here before it starts going nuts. So even if you can get your hands on this, you can slowly, buy the other parts that you need. You can pull some of this stuff out of other units. You can pull RAM from other places. The only thing really you got to have to go with this this processor is you got to have an X399 board. Other than that, you can use any other parts you want to swap in with it. So if you can get your hands on one of these right here, I would encourage you to do so. And I'm going to put that pretty high on my priority list. I'm probably going to slowly try to acquire what I need in order to create one of these, because I could definitely put one of these to use. So, but going along with this unit here, I've got the Intermax Lick Tech. I've seen several really good videos out there. I know I saw Paul's Hardware. He did a Threadripper build back last year, and he used one of these. And the great point that they made is on this water block on this Intermax is large enough to cover the die set on the Threadripper because that processor is so much larger. And right now, Intermax is the only one, unless you went custom water cooling, would you be able to put something like that together. As far as the motherboard, I've got the Gigabyte Aorus Gaming 7 here. I think this is a sweet board. I think this board here would do a great job as far as not only performance but also aesthetics as well. It's just a great looking product, and I kind of like how that would come together. Got that paired up with some Corsair Vengeance RGB. This is a 32 gig kit, DDR4 3200, so that's 4 8 gig sticks, and that will give us customization to be able to coordinate our colors through our motherboard and any other items in it that may run RGB. So storage, I've just got a Samsung 850 EVO. It's a 250 gig drive. This would be boot drive here, and also program install. And then I've got matched in here currently a Seagate 3 terabyte 7200 RPM just for raw storage that's there as well. And for cost wise, $75, that's a pretty good price for 3 terabytes. Really, you could put a couple of those in there if you needed some extra storage, or you could always add them later if you needed to. Don't have a video card selected yet. On this system, I would definitely probably put in a 1080 with this system here. I wouldn't go anything below a 1070 on this for sure. With having this high end of a processor, you definitely want as high end on video card as you could get. Also, you probably could maybe look over on the Vega side to run with one of these, but those have been really hard to find as well. So I would go either on go with a Vega or go with the 1080 on this one as well. As far as a case, I've selected out this Fractal Meshify C. I think overall for the price, you can't beat this case. It'll do 360 rad water cooling. It's got you can run coolers in the front and the top. It's got a great basement in there for the power supply down there at the bottom. Full open mesh in the front. Maximum airflow through this case. And it's a really nice case. I've seen some guys do some great builds on these online. And I think this is, for the money, really, you can't beat it. And I think overall it's a great looking case as well. So, and then for a power supply, currently I've just got dropped in here an EVGA Supernova 850. It's 80 plus gold, fully modular. It's all black cables. That's always a good thing. We don't want to put something like that together, that nice of a PC, and have ketchup and mustard showing everywhere. So I think that would make out to be would work great for us. And again, this would depend on if you're just running single GPU. If you're running multiple GPU, of course you're going to have to increase this wattage, and of course you can always shop and find better deals on those as well. So right now, it's looking just under $2,300 to cover this entire system, and I mean, what a beast for this price. Now again, there's no VGA, there's no video card in here, so it is missing that one piece. But you know, for this price right here, I think that's a lot of machine for this price. You can't even get into an Intel based processor with this kind of anywhere near this performance for this kind of money. You'd be paying that alone just for the CPU. So, but anyway, hope you find that interesting, and as well, be sure to keep your eye out on what's going on with Threadripper, especially the 1950s. The other ones, the 1920X and the 1900X that's out there, those are 12 and then 8 core. I don't know that I would ever be interested in purchasing an 8 core Threadripper. I mean, you're not getting a whole lot over what you're getting in a Ryzen 7 series for the most part. You know, you are on the X399 platform, and so you got more RAM available to you. You can go to 128 gigs versus what you can do on a X370 or a B350. But overall, that's a beast of a workstation. So hopefully I'll be able to get my hands on a Threadripper here in the near future, and I'll be sure to give you guys some updates on that. And that's probably going to be a system that I'm going to slowly build. That'll probably be a future project for me. This Ryzen 7 is working great. I love it, and so hopefully I'll be able to maybe in the future add in a Threadripper 1950X. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video today, and be sure to leave me a comment down below. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.